the time.
Yes.
He's got a great sense of humor. There's a bit of a distance between the radio station and where all these other people live. But the door's always been open to him to come down and hang out and be on the show with us because he's just a very funny guy. He's a great guy to hang out with, and he's, like you said, everything you'd mentioned to him is correct. My premonition about the gay bodybuilding, that was mine. So he can get angry about me about that later. But that's it. That's Eric, whether he likes it or not.
You know what, though, too, that he would have? Maybe he wouldn't want everybody to know, but we're spilling the beans here. He would have a great decorative eye. If there's a crooked picture on the wall, he needs to go straighten it out. And if you're going to go shopping, he's the one that's going to tell you honestly, honey, that doesn't look good. Or, that looks great, wear that again. He's the one to take with you because he's got a good eye for beauty.
Well,
Okay.
he certainly found a mate for our stump, so.
Yeah, so, okay. He's sending an instant message now in caps. He's like, oh, geez. So, yeah. So, I dare him to just, he can't call you a liar. That's the bottom line.
No.
He can't call you a liar.
No.
Dead on. Okay, one more listener that we have that we'd like to know about. And first name, Randy, R-A-N-D-Y. Last name, Constan, C-O-N-S-T-A-N.
Okay. And I'm going to assume this is a male.
Yes, it is.
Okay. You know what? I'm saying that, but I know some Randys that are females. That's why I'm asking. Okay. Randy wants to make the world a better place than what it is. Okay, so he's constantly trying to improve everything around him. He has spirituality with him, which means that he has a connection with spirit, not necessarily religion, because it doesn't say religion in his name, but it says spirituality. So he has a sense of that we're more than our physical body. And bless his heart, he's got clutter around him. He needs things to be messy to get his brain in gear and going. It's like that's the key that starts his engine. So he's going to either have messy drawers, messy closets, messy something. Somewhere has to be a mess or cluttery and able to get him going. He has a tendency to be a workaholic, but then he can slip just as easily, and he can be just absolutely so lazy you think, hello, are you ever going to get up? He's out there wanting, he's like the warrior that goes to war and says, we need to make this right. If you're not making it right, off with your head, get out of our way. We're about making this world a better place. He doesn't like people not to take advantage of him. It's like he's got such a kind heart or such a good heart that what happens is sometimes others will take advantage of him. And his Achilles heel is he needs to be liked by others, or he needs outside approval from himself, and therefore it makes him susceptible. He really has to be careful that with his kind heart and his good nature that he's not taken advantage of.
From what I know of him, you pretty much hit the nail on the head there, too. Although I've never looked in his closets, and I don't think I want to. But anyways, okay. Let me ask you a question about the book.
Yes.
Has anyone from, let's say, the Secret Service purchased a copy of your book?
Not that I'm aware of.
I was just going to say, not that you're aware of. So,
I do know that there is someone from the CIA that has purchased my book.
That was my next question. CIA, FBI, Pentagon. I'm wondering if any of your copies of your books have been sent to Washington, D.C. or Quantico, Virginia, for that matter, or overseas to hostile governments.
Not to my knowledge. I know I've sold books overseas. I do know that one of our senators owns my book. I don't always know everybody who buys. Some write me, which is always fun, and I attempt to answer all the mail. And so I do know that some of the people that have bought, but when you buy through Amazon, I don't know. If you buy through the website, that's when I know sometimes because of little notes that people write me.
I see. Okay, so Amazon could be sending these to the FBI so they can begin profiling people and use it for nefarious purposes. And that's that leads me to my next question. Okay, you pass by somebody and you hear their name or you see their name or whatever, and do any names raise a red flag to you? Do you pass like a cashier in the supermarket and you see their name tag and you say to yourself, uh-oh, this person has the potential to become a serial killer?
Yes, or a date rapist, or a thief, or, there's all kinds of things that I see in names, yes.
So, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I was just going to say, my friends laugh at me because if I go out on a date, they say, oh my gosh, he passed the name test, what's his name?
Okay.
But what I may be looking for in a name may be totally different than what you're looking for. There's a company out in California that calls me before they hire anybody, and I know everybody that they've hired in their names. And then they say, we're looking at this person or this group of people that have applied to the job to work with these, and these are the skills we need them to have. And then I look at the name to say, are they capable of having those skills, and will they get along with the people that are already there? And then I'll say, okay, here's all the names that the temp agency gave you. Interview these ones. And then this is the one that I will favor because of the name, but interview them. But I help them sort down the list, and it's really interesting because there was one time last year where she called, they keep expanding, so they keep calling. And she called one time and she said, here's our huge list. And I said, I'm almost ready to tell you to throw them all away and start over again. I said, you've got some good ones in here, and these are the 3, but it looks to me like none of them are going to stay. They don't have permanence in their name. So if you hire them, you're going to train them, and they're going to leave, and you're going to be stuck all over again. And within 3 months, she called me and she said each one had a valid reason why they left.
But it came to fruition. They were trained and put into the workforce, and then they left, like you predicted.
Right, because I said they don't have permanence in their name. And I said, but this one, I said, I looked at her, I said, she would really match so well that it's like she's leaving not of her own accord. It's a really strange thing when I'm looking at her name compared to the others. And sure enough, 6 months later, she called him and she said, if you have a job opening, I would love to come back. And, of course, the personnel director who called me just had to call me immediately and say, oh, you won't believe this. And I go, yeah, I will. It's in there,
Okay. Would Neimology give me an advantage over the house if I went to walked into a casino in Vegas?
That's math. So it won't give you an advantage because you're playing odds and you're playing probabilities. If you know probabilities, there's your advantage. Because everything has to do with numbers. However, if you're walking into a job, and I have had people use this and call and tell me, they have not been the most qualified. They've learned Neimology. They go in, and the person that is interviewing them, they can compare the names right away and say, this about me is going to bother them, so let me address it right away. And this is what's important to them based on their name, so let me play to that, right? And I have had people get job offers even when they're not the best qualified because everybody likes them the best because they knew what to say and when to keep their mouth shut because of the name.
Okay. Back to the casino, though, because I want to make a quick buck. You're making an honest living selling Neimology, and I commend you on that. But I'm talking about you and me walking through the casino in Vegas. You read the name tags of the dealers, and you spot, this one's got some serious flaws. We're going to sit at this blackjack table, and we are just going to break this person down to the point where they can't do their job, and we're going to break the bank. You and me. We're just going to be loading up suitcases full of cash, and we're getting out of there.
You are so silly. Because
of Neimology. Why don't we do that?
I can't use it unethically.
Unethically? It's gambling's legal. It's legal in Vegas. They may not like you card counting, but just because you don't like someone's name, they can't throw you out. Think about it. We'll get matching suits like in Rain Man. We'll get matching suits, and if I got to play the dumb one, I'm good at that. I can play the dumb one. You can play the smart one. I'll play the dumb one, and we'll just walk around, and you just scan. I'll say, well, what about this table? And you look at the dealer's badge, and you think, no, let's move on. And you're gonna find the perfect patsy, and you're just gonna be like, this is it. This is where we're gonna make our fortune.
I'll tell you what, Mick. I'll show you how to use Neimology, and if you choose to use it in that manner, you're welcome to.
Good answer.
But
Good answer.
I won't do it. The whole reason I went about getting Neimology and spending 15 years figuring it out, another 3 years testing it in 70 different countries and 49 of our states, and spent so much time and effort, was because I look at our world and I think, you know, how many people are living in fear and how many people don't feel safe? And I looked at my classroom kids and how I seat them in the seating chart is so important so that my children feel safe in my classroom. And I thought, if you can see what somebody needs or how to encourage them to use the gift part of their name instead of the challenge part of their name, and we can use this to help each other get along and to solve problems, and how many people I've been able to compare the names and they start understanding each other better and so that they don't hold grudges against each other. And I thought, I've worked so hard on this skill to allow it out there and give so much of it away free so that people can use it to help them improve their relationships. Never to take advantage and go, oh my gosh, this one's a thief, let me see if I can't get him to steal from me. You know, I'm not going to do that. It's like, and in fact, when I teach the course for the 16-hour, we start by you signing that you're going to use it with the highest integrity to help the people around you. And if you don't sign that paper, I give you a refund and out the door you go.
Well, I would definitely, well, you've analyzed my name. I would definitely help out family members with my winnings from the casino. People would benefit. I'm not greedy.
What about that guy that now you've destroyed his day and he has resentment, and because of how much money he lost, he's put on probation and his job's in jeopardy, and he comes home feeling awful because he wasn't able to make the people at his table feel good without it costing him at the same time.
He made me feel real good. I was the person at the table. I felt real good. I won some money. Look, how much? Okay.
But without it costing him.
How much do you want? How much do you want? How much of a cut? You tell me. What's your cut? 20%? 20?
Just you're horrible.
I love it, Nick. If you look at my name and anybody's name who has an A-R in the first name,
it screams honesty.
They scream fairness.
Oh.
They want fairness. They want the world to be fair.
Okay.
They will stand up for the underdog because they want the world to be fair.
50-50
Way to go, Sharon.
Right.
Way to stand up for the underdog.
You want fairness, it's a 50-50 split. Okay. You know, it was a gift. You gave me this gift of Neimology. I study it, and if I profit from it, sure, I'll give you a kickback. I get it. It's okay. It's all right. Okay.
You know what? I always say pay it forward. If it's something good, you pay it forward.
I agree. Pay it forward.
Yeah, look at you raising your eyebrows like you're going to get cash from me. Okay.
I don't ask for cash
all
from
right.
you.
Well,
you want gratitude.
That's it. I'm the gratitude lady.
Okay, so once again, we are talking to Sharon Lynne Wyeth, and she has published a book called Know the Name, Know the Person, Decoding Letters to Reveal Secrets Hidden in Names. And again, you can plug your websites if you would, please.
bestnamemeanings.com and knowthename.com.
And again, if any of our listeners go there and sign up, let them know some of the freebies that you were offering.
They get the first chapter of the book free. They get a whole lot of information coming every day for 7 days, almost overwhelming. And then after that, it's once a week, and I start teaching you how to do a lot of this.
Wonderful. Well, again, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. We would love to have you back again in the future, if you don't mind, if we haven't offended you too much.
Oh, I would love to come back.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
I appreciate you letting us have a little bit of fun at your expense.
Do I have time for a grandbaby name?
Oh, there is a grandbaby coming. Yes, that is correct.
My daughter's getting ready to have a baby, and the names, if the baby's a boy, his name is going to be Cameron Thor Buie, B-U-I-E, Thorcameron. If the baby's a girl, it's going to be Myra